who've OD'd from fentanyl. I mean, this is just unbelievable. Driven by the desire to push this decarceration agenda, downgraded a whole bunch of other crimes so that they wouldn't get automatic prison time. The rape of an unconscious woman, now downgraded. Trafficking a child for sex, a whole bunch of child sex crimes. I know. And this Kamala Harris pushed this. It just really captures the extent to which ideology has just taken over.
If you are elected, if you are successful, how are you going to fix all that?
California is one of the most beautiful, productive places on earth, but sometimes it's clearly broken. What you're about to hear isn't outrage, and it isn't partisan theater. It's a detailed argument about why people are leaving, why costs keep rising, and how decades of one-party control reshaped the state from the inside out. Let's get into it.
Steve Hilton, welcome back to the show.
Fantastic to be back. And this very lovely setting.
Well, we wanted to present you as a man of the people.
I know, it's wonderful. This is positive populism, as I used to describe it on my show.
Well, very much in the vein of positive populism. You are a Republican running for governor of California, and you are currently leading the polls.
Imagine that, exactly.
What happened to California, mate?
Well, a lot of bad things. I think that's the point. This is an incredible state, as we can see. It's the most, we were just talking about it, it's the most beautiful place in the world, as far as I'm concerned. I'm traveling this state all the time. It's magnificent. It's amazing. It's got this incredible spirit and soul and the energy. And it's all been crushed because we've had 15 years of one-party rule, Democrats in charge of everything, the state legislature, all the statewide offices, governor, state attorney general, everything. If you look at the state legislature, it's actually 30 years or so. One-party rule, total disaster. Literally, we have the highest unemployment rate in America, California, enterprise innovation, highest unemployment rate, highest poverty rate, highest costs for everything that matters, housing costs, gas prices, electric, water, insurance, everything. The business climate, Chief Executive Magazine does a survey every year, best and worst states to do business. For the last 10 years, California is 50th out of 50.
People often argue about politics in terms of personalities, red versus blue, but what you are hearing here is a structural critique. When a state ranks last in business climate, has the highest cost of living, and still claims success because of raw GDP size, that disconnect tells you something important. The question isn't whether California is rich. The question is whose that wealth actually serves.
US News and World Report, I think it was them, or someone did a survey just recently on opportunity, putting together all the measures for that. 50th out of 50 states. School results, everything. Homelessness, obviously. And that's the thing, especially for people watching outside of California or even America. There's all the kind of highly visible things that have gone wrong. People can see the homelessness and the crime and the videos of the retail theft. All of that is true. But underlying that, the basics of living here are just a nightmare for regular working people. And so it really feels to me like all that stuff that people say, oh, a Republican can't win. It's such a Democrat state. You're never going to do it. I just think that's not true. People are sick of it. And they know that we need a change. And that's what I'm running on. And so far, so good. I think that it's a long way to go. The primary's next June, general election next November. So this is far from being in the bag. It's the opposite of that. I'm fighting incredibly hard. But the idea that we can't change, that's not true. It really, really is. It's a classic thing, time for change. And people know that. There's a majority. Last thing I'll say, if you look at those like political people, when they're looking at elections, they often say, the indicator, if whether you're going to get a change of regime and an incumbent party or candidate is going to lose, is that question, is the state or the place or whatever it is going in the right direction, wrong direction? Yeah. So in the last 2 years, very firmly, clear majority, wrong direction. California, 60%, 65%. So the conditions are there. I actually really think we can pull this off, and it'll be a real revolution when we do.
Well, we've just come from Austin, and it's fascinating talking to people. Austin is like the refugee city for people who've left California. Exactly. And what people, I think, don't understand is just how much of a paradise California is. It is incredible.
Right.
The climate is incredible. The nature is incredible. You've got access to amazing food, like you talked about, businesses. It's an incredible place. And to chase so many talented, driven people out is quite an achievement. You know, this house is not ours. It's an Airbnb, right? We looked up how much this house, I was curious how much it costs.
Yeah.
We looked it up. The price of this house has dropped by 40% in the last 10 years.
Yes.
Because wealthy people have left.
Exactly. This is the thing. Like, I actually say this. I'm on the road the whole time. It's a political campaign, speeches all the time. And there's a kind of basic thing I say, which is, why would anyone leave an amazing place like this? It's because it's so badly run and it's impossible to live here. And they chase you out. I mean, the business, you know, I used to run businesses, started companies here and back in England, and just including restaurants. I mean, just basics, you know, these businesses that are so precious to, you know, the heart of a community, bars, restaurants, all that. Just, it's a nightmare. It's endless. I mean, there's so many stories. I get them the whole time. Every day you collect because people tell you their stories. A woman who tried, a restaurant owner in wine country, near where I live up in the Bay Area near San Francisco. She tried to, well, she did eventually expand. She built an extension to her patio for more guests, to increase the number of guests from 35 to 50. You need a permit, you need to go through a process. It took 6 years and $1 million.
Stories like this are why broad statistics don't tell the full story. This isn't about ideology. It's not about friction. When it takes years, lawyers, and massive fees to expand a small business, the system quietly filters out anyone who isn't already wealthy, connected, or corporate. Once that happens, communities hollow out, not overnight, but slowly, one permit at a time.
What? In fees, lawyers, inspections, you have to pay for the inspection, environmental report, this, that. It's typical. I mean, there's something called, this is going to sound obscure, but it's a really good example of the insanity, just in terms of just regular, you know, operating anything in California. You've got something called PAGA, the Private Attorney General Act, passed in 2004. It outsources the enforcement of state labor law to just regular lawyers, attorneys, instead of the government. It's become a total racket for lawyers, trial attorneys, as they say, who are, by the way, the second biggest donors to Democrat politicians. That's why it's happening. Number one donors are the unions. That's why the unions run everything. Number two, the lawyers. Private Attorney General Act has turned into an extortion racket for lawyers and the government. So the tiniest infraction, like that's made up, you know, you spell someone's name wrong on the pay stub.
If you want more long-form breakdowns like this, focused on policy, outcomes, and what actually affects everyday people, make sure you subscribe. I will see you in the next one.